It's so great to see old friends again, isn't it? Please take your seats. And welcome, bienvenidos todos esta noche. Welcome to the 9th annual César y Chávez Hispanic Excellence Awards. My name is Eva Aguirre Cooper from WTV8, and once again, it is my pleasure and honor to be your mistress of ceremonies this evening. We have a lot of things planned for you, so we're going to try to keep it moving. I just want to mention I'd like to thank Los Bandits. They just walked away. Thank you for playing. We will hear from them again later. You know, they were our 2011 Distinguished Aguila recipients. Thank you guys, you were awesome. And now to begin, we'd like to start with the presentation of colors from Ottawa Hills High School's ROTC program, followed by the Calvin Choral Ensemble from the Calvin College of Music Department, directed by Dr. Joel Navarro, for the national anthem. Please stand. You may be seated. And now, I was just reminded about this earlier. Before we begin, I just want to get a picture of everybody. Smile. You know we have Facebook. Everybody wave. Okay. Awesome. Okay. And now, I'd like to have the pleasure of introducing a woman that I know we all love, the chairperson for the committee to honor César y Chávez, and the glue that keeps us all together. You know when she calls, you never say no. It's like, okay, when do you want me there? The Honorable Lupe Ramos Montini, this year's chairperson. Lupe.
Good evening. Buenas noches. The committee to honor César y Chávez would like to welcome each and every one of you once more to our 2013, and this is a long name, César y Chávez Hispanic Excellence Scholarship and Awards Gala. This year we had an enthusiastic, talented, diverse planning committee. Will the committee please stand? All the people that helped me in the planning of this event, please stand. And most of them are sitting over there. The Committee to Honor César y Chávez has a unity committee that has been very vital to the success of our committee. The day today started at Aquinas College with a breakfast at 7:30 this morning. How many of you were there this morning? It was a wonderful breakfast put on by Aquinas College. Then we went to Devonport, the acts of courage, the powerful work of César continues. Who was at the lecture at Devonport University? Then we went to the Colores Luncheon, co-sponsored by the Hispanic Center of Western Michigan and the Grand Rapids Public Schools. How many were at the luncheon? Then we had a treat. We went to visit the school across the street, the César y Chávez School. And Arturo, I know, had a wonderful time with three escorts, fifth graders, and they took him all over the building to showcase their school. And how proud we were that we, the Committee to Honor César y Chávez, was able to initiate the naming of César y Chávez School. We are proud to announce tonight that we have joined in our mission 2 institutions, actually 3. 2 for the Unity Committee, Kindle College of Arts and Design. Will you please stand? And Kelvin College, and you saw him perform. Please stand. And Spectrum Health, please stand. So now we have 3 more partners that are going to support our mission and continue doing the very best that we know how, helping educate our students to be successful. Thank you. You may sit. Every one of you has a program on your table. Now I want you to study and get informed with the information in this booklet. This booklet was a test. And I want to acknowledge Lori Shout. Where's Lori Shout? Please stand. She is the graphic designer at Grand Rapids Community College that put this booklet together. I especially want you to go and see the page for looking ahead in 2014. So you can mark your calendars because we have the dates. I don't want you to plan anything on our dates, okay? That conflicts with our story. So please mark your calendars so we don't conflict with each other's events. Thank you so much for your commitment to education, your commitment to the Committee to Honor César y Chávez, and most important, your commitment to social justice. And as our great leader and hero, César, said, what did he say? Sí se puede. What did he say? Sí se puede. Thank you.
Gracias, Lupe. At this time, I know we have a lot of honored guests in the audience, and I'd like to take the time to ask, and please hold your applause till the end, do we have any elected officials in the audience? Please stand, all our elected officials. Do we have any candidates that will be running or currently running? Please stand, any candidates that are running for office, and any municipal representatives also in our audience. Please stand. Thank you for participating. Let's give them a round of applause. I'd now like to invite the Reverend George K. Hartwell, Mayor of the City of Grand Rapids, for his reflection and blessing. Mayor.
Thank you, Eva. Well, I'm the last one standing between you and dinner, but Lupe, no less than Lupe Ramos Montani, has given me permission to take all the time I need for this reflection. I suspect that we all know the basic story of César Chávez, how he organized farm workers, how he marched for justice, how he promoted boycotts of grapes and lettuce, how he fasted almost unto death, and how on one occasion it was then Attorney General Robert Kennedy who joined him and broke the fast. But do we know César Chávez? Do we really know the man? We cannot seek achievement for ourselves and forget about prosperity for our community. Our ambitions must include the aspirations and needs of others for their sake and for our own. Those are the words of César Chávez. What he did for others and not for his own gratification. A true leader seeks the betterment of those who suffer, and César Chávez was a true leader. I recall seeing a billboard that was prevalent in South Africa during the elections of 1994 that ended apartheid. It said, "None are free. None are free until all are free." And it was Nelson Mandela who said this. And Mandela and Chávez were carved out of the same block of granite. What each man did was tactically aimed at improving the lives of others. Their own discomfort, even their own death, did not matter. What mattered was the well-being of others. It is possible to become discouraged about the injustice we see everywhere, but God did not promise us that the world would be humane and just. God gives us the gifts of life and allows us to choose the way we will use our limited time on earth. It is an awesome opportunity. Those are the words of César Chávez. And who among us does not resonate to those words? We look about and we see the suffering of the poor, the immigrant, the unemployed worker, the farm worker, the destitute child. Discouragement is everywhere, in the air we breathe. But God did not promise us that the world would be humane and just. You speak deep, powerful truth, César. Profound awareness. No, indeed, the world is not just. But God has overcome the powers of the world and has given us the gift of life and the ability to choose the way we will use our time on earth. How will you use your time? How will you direct your steps? What will history say about you? If you're to follow in the way of César Chávez, you will be willing to sacrifice some measure of personal comfort, some aspect of your fortune, whether that fortune is large or small, some piece of your time, some gift of your ability, sacrifice so that those who have too little, those who are hungry, those whose backs are breaking under heavy loads, can know a measure of dignity, can find a place of peace and comfort. If you are to follow in the way of César Chávez, you will be known as one who cares, one whose heart breaks with compassion, but whose dedication to the cause of justice is as strong as steel. You'll be known as one who is selfless, always giving, quick to tear in the presence of a hungry child, yet quick to stand and take the blows directed at the vulnerable, at the marginalized. the theologian Soren Kierkegaard used an analogy of a whirlpool. He says that when a whirlpool in a river grows as the current sweeps it along, it sucks in debris and it's enlarged. He pointed out that when two whirlpools converge in a river, they form a larger vortex than either of the whirlpools separately. Nothing can stop the ferocious power of the whirlpool, said Kierkegaard. Nothing but a rock in the river. When the whirlpool encounters the rock, it beats out its fury, and the rock absorbs it, and the whirlpool is tamed. César Chávez was the rock in the river of America. All the hatred, all the classism, all the arrogant pride and striving power of wealth and influence poured out its fury on him and on the United Farm Workers. The only way to win was to absorb the force of oppression and stand. César stood. His nonviolent movement opened its arms to America's violence, and it took its fury head on and stood bloody and bruised but unbowed. In the end, it was nonviolence that won. It will always be nonviolence that wins. It was justice that was left standing, the rock in the river. So today we honor César Chávez. Today we speak his name and we recall his contributions. But what about the other 364 days? How will we live them? Will we be worthy of the name César Chávez? Will we remain faithful to his witness that we speak of today? My friends, this is a time of inspiration as we remember the words and the actions of César Chávez. Let this also be a moment for rededication to his vision of a world characterized by justice for all. Tomorrow, there will still be oppression in the world. Tomorrow, there will be children of 7 and 8 years of age who pick cucumbers in the hot sun beside their parents for 14 hours a day and go home to migrant housing with its plumbing backed up and stinking, to its bugs in the mattress, to a superintendent who patrols the grounds with a snarling dog who terrorizes even their dreams at night. And tomorrow, a father will cry for his child who is sick and he has nowhere to turn. And tomorrow, a wife will ache for her husband whose pride has been stripped and shredded. Tomorrow, where will you be? Where will I be? Will this day be forgotten? Will our ears be deaf to the cries of the suffering? Will our hearts be hardened? Or will we carry the torch of César Chávez in all that we do? Recall his words. God gives us the gift of life and allows us to choose the way we will use our limited time on earth. It is an awesome opportunity. And so, choose the way of life. Choose the way of justice. Choose the way of mercy. Choose the way of César Chávez. Would you pray with me, please? Tender, loving God, it is you who give us all we need to be your hands and your feet in this world, instilling justice, encouraging mercy. Let us boldly walk and work and speak in the tradition of César Chávez. Bless us in this time together. Amen.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, at this time, enjoy the dinner, the camaraderie, and we'll be back shortly with the program. Thank you. I'd like to invite now to introduce our keynote speaker, Connie Dang, Director of Office of Multicultural Affairs at Grand Valley State University. Connie?
Good evening. It is my pleasure to introduce today's keynote speaker, Mr. Arturo Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez is no stranger to Michigan. He graduated in 1971 with an MA degree in social work at the University of Michigan. Then, in 1973, he began his work with the United Farm Workers, where he first met César Chávez, who became his mentor for 20 years. Mr. Rodriguez has more than 40 years of experience organizing farm workers, negotiating UFW contracts, and leading numerous farm workers' boycott and political movements across North America. As president of the United Farm Workers, he's continuing to build on the union of César Chávez that serves as a powerful voice for immigrant workers by increasing its membership and pushing historic legislation on immigration reform and workers' rights. Mr. Rodriguez is leading the UFW in bringing about meaningful change for farm workers by making it easier for them to organize and negotiate union contracts. He works to transform American agriculture by creating jobs, offering workers decent pay, comprehensive health coverage, retirement security, protections against toxic poisons, job security, and guarantees against discrimination, and also sexual harassment. His passion to preserve America's food supply through a strong and viable agriculture industry. Just to name a few historic UFW legislative achievements, a 2011 law helping farm workers organize when growers deny them the right to have a union. In 2002, there's a law allowing farm workers to call in neutral arbitrators to work on union contracts when growers refuse to negotiate agreements. A 2005 regulation, the first state regulation in the nation to help prevent farm workers and also other outdoor workers from dying or becoming ill due to excessive heat. And the AG Jobs Bill that allows undocumented farm workers the permanent legal right to stay in this country by continuing their work in agriculture. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming Mr. Rodriguez.
Pues, que viva! Muy buenas noches. Good evening, everyone. It's a real honor and a pleasure to be here this evening with all of you on behalf of the United Farm Workers, on behalf of the César Chávez Foundation, and the Farm Worker Movement. Connie, I want to thank you very, very much for that kind introduction. Very much appreciated. You know, folks, I am really impressed. It has been decades since I've been back to Grand Rapids, and I just can't say enough about what I've been able to be a part of today and experience today and going around your community. It's awesome. I wish every community in the United States was like Grand Rapids. I mean, who can talk about a mayor that comes here and quotes César Chávez. Now, there's not too many mayors that are willing to do that, even in California. So, Mayor Hartwell, we appreciate your remarks, and I know that they're very sincere remarks, and I'm sure you've been here a long time because people love the work you do. So, congratulations for everything. And folks, I don't know how you deserved Lupe Ramos Montigny, but we won her. And we're going to take her. Oh. That woman, I swear, the energy she has and the talent and the dedication and the commitment goes far beyond what we've seen throughout the years in our movement. And I've been around quite a while, as you just heard, 40 of those 50 years. So to see someone with Lupe's talent and all the folks that are around her, the Pablos and all the other individuals that I've had a chance to meet today, Eric and the committee. Folks, again, please stand up because you just do awesome work. All the members of the Unity Committee, the César Chávez Committee, please stand up so we can give you all an applause. That's what's life about. I mean, that was one of the major principles and one of the beliefs of César Chávez, and something he worked for all throughout his lifetime. He believed in us, each one of us, doing our part. And he said, if we each one of us do our part, we're going to make change. We're going to improve this society. We're going to make sure that it's a better world than when we came into it, and for our future generations. And so that's what we've learned and we've shared throughout the years within our particular organization. I was talking with Eva earlier, your Master of Ceremonies tonight, and she was telling me about her sister that I met back in California. I can't believe this is such a small world. Grand Rapids has these people all over the United States. Oh, yeah. So it's quite an opportunity and experience to be here. And I've thoroughly enjoyed being here and look forward to the opportunity in the future. You know, I have to mention that the reason, or one of the reasons, and one of my teachers, besides César, that attracted me to his movement was his brother, Richard Chávez. And he loved coming to Grand Rapids. He met Marshall Chávez and other folks at that particular time, and they put together a committee here that was one of the stellar groups that really did work on behalf of farm workers. And we got a chance to see Marshall for a little while this afternoon and break bread with him and his wife, Marilyn, and his son, Greg. And it was great to see him still remembering all those years of service. But I've been thinking all day, well, what really does make Grand Rapids so different? And I just think it's, you know, so many of you care. You care about not only yourselves and your families and being proud of your community, but you genuinely care about other people. And you do things far beyond what the expectations might be. And that really is heartening. You know, too many times people wonder, well, why do you keep doing this? And don't you get discouraged? And aren't you depressed when they pass all these laws and things like that? And what about the setbacks? And yet, when you come to communities like this, you get lifted up. You feel the energy and the support, and you see that people really are dedicated and committed and willing to do things and take some of their time to do something that's going to be beneficial to someone else that doesn't have the same opportunities we have. And so that's what it's been all about. That's what César Chávez's life was about. When he began in 1962, nobody believed that farm workers could be organized. Nobody believed that farm workers could be treated better, or they should be given a decent wage, or provided with humane working conditions, or that they deserved the respect and dignity from their employers, from other people here in the country. And so as a result, it was just a history of being abused and exploited. And it still continues today. But yet, we're out here doing something about it. And César instilled this belief into us that each and every one of us could make a difference. You know, we oftentimes say, si se puede. Yes, it can be done. But, I mean, that's the spirit that César Chávez had, and he instilled in each one of us. Si se puede. He didn't care how rich the growers were. He didn't care how politically tied they were, how much power they had, that we went into these rural communities and they had the control. The judges were their relatives. The attorneys were their relatives. The sheriffs were their relatives. And when we went in there to try to do something, how all of that power came against us. And he reached out to America and said, you know what? All right, we're going to leave you. Farm workers, as farm workers, we're going to go to big cities. We're going to go to urban communities throughout the nation. And we're going to tell them our story. And we're going to see the reaction of the American public. And that's how I started in this organization, as so many millions of other people came to know the United Farm Workers. In fact, at the height of our boycotts in 1975, the Harris poll estimated there was about 17.5 million Americans that supported our boycotts. That didn't eat grapes, didn't eat lettuce, or didn't drink Gallo wines at that particular time. 17.5 million Americans. Obviously, the country was much smaller then. And so that's what one little farm worker started. And many other farm workers came out here. I know I was in Detroit, Michigan, working there where I began, and 80 farm workers came from the San Joaquin Valley, table grape workers. Some of them didn't speak English. Some of them had never been outside of California. None of them had ever come to Michigan. Most of them, like myself, who came from San Antonio, we never experienced the snow. We didn't know what it was like. And thank goodness to the United Auto Workers, they provided us with snow boots and the big gloves and the big coats and everything else. In fact, we had so many coats by the time we left, we had one for every day. But it was a great experience. And they made us feel like, okay, you belong. You're important. We're going to help you. We're going to support you. We're going to do everything we can for you. And I'll never forget Michigan, because that's the way they've always treated us. This state, and now I can see for myself, Grand Rapids, because Richard used to always come back and brag about Grand Rapids this, Grand Rapids that, you know, Marshall, all the people there, they want to support us, they do this and that. But now I can see, my God, what Marshall started back over 40 years ago is still thriving today, thanks to Lupe's leadership and everybody else's willingness to continue to participate. That says something. It's you, folks. It's nobody else, it's you. You've demonstrated, you've proved that, you've shown America what people can do that care and have a desire to want to help their fellow sisters and brothers that don't necessarily have the fortunes that we do. And as the mayor said, we do have fortunes, and we're very blessed, because we do have a life, we can make lots of choices, we can do lots of things, whereas farm workers don't necessarily have that choice. They have the skills and the talent to work in the fields and the commitment to do that, to harvest our apples, to harvest our strawberries, to harvest our tomatoes, to pick our blueberries, to do all that work. But yet, too often, people don't see that as important. They don't think, they're just a farm worker. They didn't go to school. That's why they have to do that. No. They do it because they're good at it. And thank goodness they are, because if that wasn't the case, we wouldn't have fruits and vegetables on our tables today. The reality has come to this country that the 99% of the folks that harvest our fruits and vegetables today are all immigrants. The majority of them coming from Mexico. And U.S. population, us as Americans, we decide, you know what? We don't want to do that anymore. We don't want to bend over all day. We don't want to climb ladders to pick the fruits. We don't want to do the most dangerous occupation that exists in America today. Let somebody else do that. And they're willing to come here to do that. The other reality is that probably about 80% of that workforce doesn't have papers. Not because they don't want to, not because they don't want to see their kids go to college or universities or be professionals in other occupations. It's because of the fact that this country has a broken immigration system, and it's had it for a long time. We as an organization, as a farm worker movement, have spent the last 13 years trying to bring about immigration reform here in the United States. And we've worked with several presidents, we worked with all different kinds of politicians to make that happen. And I'm proud to say that we are closer than ever in terms of making that happen because of who we have in the White House, but more importantly, because people are finally realizing and waking up to the fact that, hey, most immigrants in this nation, they come here because they want to contribute. They want to give something that we don't have. And certainly farm workers that come here give something that we don't have. They are willing to work all day long, harvest the fruits and vegetables, migrate up and down the country, come here from Texas, come here from other states, in order to harvest our fruits and vegetables and make sure that we have the most plentiful food supply that exists in the world on our tables every single day. They're willing to make that commitment. And they're asking very little in return. They just want to gain legal status. They want to be able to have the right to be here. They want to know when they leave the job that they're going to be able to get back home. They want to reunite their families. So many of the families that we work with, that I encounter all the time, the wife is here, the husband is back in Mexico, or vice versa. The children are here, or part of the family's over there in Mexico. When their loved ones die, they don't get to go home. They can't participate in the funerals. They can't join in the celebrations of the weddings and the birthdays and everything like that because they can't cross the border. Or they have to risk their life to come back across and be willing to pay somewhere between some outrageous fee of somewhere between $5,000 to $10,000 to be able to come back across. And they can't do that. They can't afford that. So consequently, this issue of immigration reform is so important to us. I know César told me time and time again throughout the years, there's nothing more important than you can do for an immigrant than help them gain legal status. Because then that gives them a sense of dignity, a sense of belonging, a sense of opportunity. Now they can look towards the future and say, okay, I want to invest. I want to buy a home. I want to buy a car. I want to buy property. I want to be part of America because that's why I came here to begin with, to join with everyone else and to ensure a better future for my children, but the rest of this country as well. And folks, in addition to that, they are the most important people to us, to each and every one of us when it comes to food safety or food quality in this country. The whole food industry has changed dramatically over the last 50 years since when we first started. Back when we first started, yeah, most of the fruits and vegetables were grown here in the United States. A lot of people working here, like Lupe, and so many others that are here tonight, got their beginnings as farm workers, migrating from different states, coming here to Michigan to harvest the crops. Today, again, as I mentioned earlier, that doesn't exist. People don't work in the fields anymore that are born and raised here in the U.S. And so those workers, they're the eyes for us when it comes to the fields. They're the ones that know what animals have been out in those fields the night before. They're the ones that see if anything has been happening or anything was walking through the strawberry fields or through the tomato fields or broccoli or lettuce or cauliflower, whatever it might be. They're the ones that see that. The grower sure ain't going to see that because they're not on the fields for the most part. It's those farm workers. And they're the ones that can alert the authorities and say, hey, look, something's wrong here, as they've done time and time and time again, and to alert everybody and say, you know what, we better pay attention to what's taking place. So they're extremely important to the food safety in our nation. So that's why we are partnering now with Costco, because Costco is also interested, as a retailer, of figuring out how they're going to provide safe food to their consumers in a just way. And so we're working very closely with them on a number of different initiatives. One called the Food Equity Initiative, whereby we're trying to, the Equitable Food Initiative, I'm sorry, EFI, where we're trying to figure out how to set standards that employers will abide by, that workers will abide by, and ensure then that those vegetables or that fruit that goes to Costco has been picked in that particular manner, and working with their vendors. When I went to their conference here a year ago, I was blown away that this retailer would be willing to introduce us in front of 80 of their primary vendors in the country, growers, and say, yeah, we support the work they do. There's not too many retailers that I remember the boycott days that were willing to do something like that. But Costco has really staked their reputation on doing it. We're also trying to figure out the recruitment. How do we do the recruitment of farm workers in a way that respects what they want to do, so that they don't have to pay thousands of dollars to some recruiter, that a woman doesn't have to trade sex in order to be able to get a job or maintain a job at a company, and all those types of gimmicks that are played every single day against farm workers. We're working with the fair trade movement here in the United States to figure out ways in terms of how do we partner with them to look at the realities that exist today, because today it is no longer a food supply that's grown here in the United States. About 50% of our fruits and vegetables come from abroad. So the Costco's, they know their consumers, they want table grapes year-round. They don't only want them when we harvest them there in California anymore. They want grapes in the winter, they want grapes in the spring, and they want grapes during the summertime and the fall. So as a result, they got to go to Chile and they got to go to other countries to harvest that crop. Well, you can't continue the labor relations situation that we have right now to deal with workers in other parts of the world. So we're partnering with them to try to look, and with Fair Trade USA, to try to look, how do we deal with that? How do we deal with the global food supply that exists today and ensure that you as consumers still get a safe food supply, still have products that are not going to be managed by the same laws that we have here in the United States, but we're going to make every effort to make sure that the pesticides or the chemicals or the growing practices that take place in those other countries are done so in such a way that, one, respects the worker, but simultaneously ensure that we respect the consumer as well and provide them with the best quality food possible and the safest food possible. So in that way, we can really be of service to you as much as we are to farm worker families, as much as we are to retailers. And that's what this movement has been since its inception, and that's what we continue to be. So right now, we have a lot of challenges before us, a lot of different programs that we're working on, but I think probably the most important and most significant right now, and the one where we feel we can make the biggest impact, is not with our members, but more importantly with the entire farm worker population here in the United States. All the farm workers that exist here. There is about 1.6 million farm workers here in the United States that actually work out in the fields. The estimate is, by the government authorities and everyone else, is about 1 million to 1.2 million are probably here without papers. We have to change that. And we are working extremely hard to be able to make that happen. We've spent the last several months now working with Senator Dianne Feinstein, Senator Michael Bennet, Senator Marco Rubio, and Senator Orrin Hatch to hammer out a deal between us, farm workers, the UFW, United Farm Workers, and the agricultural associations here throughout the United States that will ensure that today's workforce that's working out in agriculture, the 1 million plus or 1.2 million, that they gain legal status, legal protection in the United States, so that they're ensured that they can continue to work and now invest in America even more so than what they've done already. But more importantly, so that we have a group of workers, a labor supply that has experience, has knowledge, knows what it takes to harvest the crops, and will do that work. Now, free of any fears of being deported. outside the United States. And then that gives us as consumers some sense of food security as well. And also gives employers and growers the workforce that they need to harvest their crops. I know there's been reports here in this state there wasn't enough people to harvest the apples. The reality is, folks, is that, hey, to get us as Americans, how many of you want to go out and work in the apple fields, in the apple orchards, and pick apples? Well, if you're not going to get paid a decent wage, or the working conditions aren't going to be improved, probably very few of us, if any, will want to do that work. So we better figure out ways to attract and to ensure the workforce that's here today continues to work in agriculture. And more importantly, also figure out a way that we have a humane visa program that brings in workers from other countries to supplement our workforce here in the United States. And that's a reality all across the world. You hear about it all the time. When was it? Last week? There was Italian immigrants, immigrants coming from Africa that outside the shores of Italy, their boat capsized and a couple of hundred folks were killed as a result of that. We see that happening all the time. About 500 people are killed crossing our borders every year to come to work in agriculture, found in the deserts of California or Arizona or in Texas, in one of those 3 states. So that this has been an endeavor that we've been engaged in now, as I mentioned, for 13 years, but we are very close. And so tonight, we're asking to do something very simple. As César Chávez once asked us to boycott, we boycotted, and we won. We won lots of victories for farm workers as we continue to do today. Tonight, it's not going to take a boycott. You don't have to go in front of a store. In fact, you can keep eating all the grapes you want. You can drink all the gallon of wine you want because now we have a contract with them. Or you can eat all the lettuce you want. All this calls for is take that card that's on your table. Everybody have a card? Everybody see that card? If you don't have one, raise your hand because we'll make sure you get one. Tomas has been very, very helpful here since we got started early this morning. But please just take a moment, fill out that card, and most importantly, if you use email or you have an email address, take a moment to put it down, because that's the way we boycott today. I don't know about it, but certainly we have enough folks that understand technology much better than I do, and good for them, because it saves us a lot of wear and tear walking in front of stores. But today, we communicate with folks, and we keep people updated as to what our activities are through using our internet, or going to our website, which is www.ufw.org. And we just put up a petition today about immigration reform. But please, folks, just take a moment, fill out that card, and put your email address down, and we'll go around to collect them later on this evening as the program continues. But that way you can help us. It's not asking you too much. It's not asking you to stop eating something. It's not asking you to fast. It's just asking you to really just take a moment to fill out that card. And then you can choose as to what you want to do. We'll keep you aware, we'll keep you updated and informed as to what we're doing, but you can make your choice as to what you want to do. So it's, again, a real pleasure, a real honor to be here. If Lupe invites me, I'll come back someday and enjoy all the good times that we've experienced here today here in Grand Rapids. And Mayor, this is really a blessed community. I can see why you want to be mayor, and I can see why you've been mayor for so long now. You're very, very fortunate. So thank you all, and I know Lupe did it a little bit earlier, but let's do Si Se Puede together so that all the farm workers throughout the U.S. knows we're in Grand Rapids tonight, knows that we're together tonight, knows that we're celebrating tonight, this wonderful day, and certainly all of the awardees are going to be receiving awards very shortly. Congratulations to all of them, and congratulations to all the students. So I'm going to say, Si Se Puede, or I'm going to say, I'm sorry, Se Puede, and then you can respond, Si Se Puede. It's easy. Even if we're not bilingual, this is simple. But Se Puede? Si Se Puede. Ooh, man, pretty good there. One more time. ¿Se puede? Sí, se puede. ¿Se puede? Sí, se puede. Okay, now we're going to do two things. We're going to say "si se puede," and we're going to all clap together. ¿Se puede? Sí, se puede. Thank you very much. Muchísimas gracias.
Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much, Arturo, for your words. I think what you were saying about belonging, a lot of us feel that connection. I am a daughter of a migrant worker and a farm worker. How many people here are family or connections with being farm workers? Raise your hand. Sí se puede, sí. Right here. We'd like to present you with a gift from our own local artist, Eric Picardo, on behalf of the committee to honor César E. Chávez.
Good evening, everybody. I bought this evening a very symbolic piece of honor of the farmer worker, as I've done in 3 years in a row now. It's an honor for me to be once again this year. And I take in some of the César E. Chávez words. I'm doing my part tonight, so hopefully you do yours. All right? So please enjoy the piece.
Thank you.
And good to meet you.
Okay, on with the program now. I'd like to, at this time, now present the presentation of the Davenport University Scholarship. Here to present is Dave Enniclaus, Executive Vice President for Organizational Development. Dave? I saw you here earlier. Oh, there he is.
Well, thank you very much. I first want to extend my thanks to Arturo Rodriguez as well, not only for sharing your message tonight, but a special thanks on behalf of Davenport University for sharing your message with our students, our faculty, and staff today, especially for making it not only meaningful, but connecting it and really providing a call to action that really connected with our students why this work, continuing this work, is so important and cannot be forgotten. So thank you again on behalf of Davenport University. Thank you very much. We're also, I'd be remiss if I also did not thank Lupe Ramos Montini, who invited us several years ago to be part of the Unity Committee to honor César E. Chávez, where diversity and inclusion is a cornerstone of our vision at Davenport University, and we're very proud of our association with the committee as well. As part of that effort, we are also very proud to be able to award each year a scholarship, which is full tuition and fees, to a student who honors the continued work and legacy of César E. Chávez, and the scholarship is aptly named Si Se Puede. So we're very proud of that. This year we're proud to present the scholarship to 2 students. One student could not be with us today. She is a student studying accounting, a bachelor's of administration in accounting, Belinda Reyes. We are also very honored to have another student with us today who is specializing in a new program for Davenport, a Bachelor of Science in Digital Forensics, who had to explain exactly what that was to me. But please join me in congratulating Angela Garcia.
We're going to hear a special musical number now by Los Bandits. Again, remember there are 2011 Distinguished Aguila recipients to perform Brown-Eyed Children of the Sun.
Up to Michigan from Jay.
Gracias. God, I love that song. Thanks, guys. We are now going to move on to the Community Awards presentation for tonight. Those living the life and legacy of César y Chávez. We'll begin with the Youth Award. It goes to an inspiring young Hispanic student who is a positive role model for other youth in school and in the community. The 2013 Youth Award goes to Francisco Ramirez. Francisco arrived in the United States in 1995 at the age of 8 from the Dominican Republic. He quickly learned English and was influenced by his immigrant family's hard work, focus on education, and tough love. He mentors others to also work hard with that tough love approach to reach their full potential. Francisco's experiences since arriving to the States have motivated him to help others. He connects to those who have a hard time connecting with the mandated, Americanized way of doing things. Francisco dreams big and aspires to connect with those like him who need guidance and someone to rely on. Working with the underserved community and show them the opportunities that he had growing up. He wants to change the perception of Latinos in this country so that there is more equality through responsible leadership. This is truly a great example of living the life and legacy of César y Chávez. Congratulations, Francisco. La familia.
Thank you so much.
Felicidades.
Yes, gracias.
What a great young guy. Good job. La Familia Legacy Award goes to a Hispanic family who has challenged us to dare to dream and hope without giving up our identity and culture. The 2013 La Familia Legacy Award goes to Dr. Raúl and Kathy Isasi, Melinda and Reina. Raúl and Kathy actually knew each other as children in Grand Rapids, not knowing that one day they'd be married to each other. They both started their careers in the Grand Rapids Public Schools. Raúl worked as teacher, counselor, vice principal, and trusted peer and mentor to many. Kathy worked at the Hispanic Institute and in later years at the Franklin campus. They have 2 daughters, Melinda and Reina, who both attended Grand Valley State University. Go Lakers! Yeah. Raúl and Kathy taught their daughters by example and reminding them of the opportunities they had in life. Extended faith, family, and fun are foundations of their love and guidance. Today, Raúl works and teaches at Grand Valley. He has a BA and MA from GVSU and an MA from MSU and a PhD from Wayne State University. Kathy is retired from GRPS but is still committed subbing at the library for GRPS this fall. Melinda works for Herman Miller in their Human Resource Department, and Reina has returned from Atlanta to begin her career with Farmers Insurance. Raúl believes in helping future educators realize the power of education. This family has worked hard to realize their dreams following César Chávez. Sí se puede. Felicidades. Okay. Lots of pictures. Facebook is going to be full of them tonight, right? Okay. Congratulations. Yeah. The Golden Citizen Award goes to a heroic Hispanic citizen or couple who have fought segregation and discrimination. To them, we owe the rights we have today. The 2013 Golden Citizen Award goes to Consuelo Garcia. Consuelo Momo Martinez Garcia turned 80 years old last year and has been a wellspring of strength and warmth for all those whose lives she has touched. Born and raised in Texas during the Great Depression, she models the work ethic and compassion that epitomizes the American experience. She moved to North Carolina before settling in Michigan. When she arrived in Grand Rapids, she worked at Roosevelt Head Start, helping children prepare for academic success. Consuelo took classes at GRCC and Wayne State University and for nearly a quarter of a century worked in the Grand Rapids Public Schools. In the summer, she spent time at the Migrant Summer School, and even after retirement, continued to serve at the homeless shelter at Casa de la Paz. Consuelo has 12 children, 2 foster children, and 38 grandchildren. Never hesitating. Never hesitating to extend a helping hand to one in need, whether for strangers or family. Her compassion and selfless acts is a true example that exemplifies the life and legacy of César Chávez. Felicidades. We now move on to the Hispanic Advocate Award. Goes to a non-Hispanic individual or organization which enhances the upward mobility of the Hispanic community. This year we have 3. We'll begin with Paul Helder. Paul began his service to the community more than 15 years ago as a Grand Rapids teacher and a member of the Grand Rapids Education Association. While president from the GREA, he advocated for teachers, reforming our schools, and providing philanthropic support for many causes, including cancer research, dyslexia treatment, student art programs, and the Committee to Honor César Chávez. Between the independent scholarships the union offered to GRPS students and the scholarships funded through the Committee to Honor César Chávez, the GREA has donated nearly $40,000 toward providing college education to our students in the last six years. The GREA, in partnership with the Teamsters, UAW, and other labor organizations, is pledging to support our neighbors in need with food assistance and working with the Grand Rapids Community Action Team on local efforts. Please congratulate Paul Helder, one of the Hispanic Advocate awardees. Our next Hispanic advocate goes to Terry Hugerhide. Come on up. Terry is a proud member. Terry's a proud member of Teamsters Local 406 for over 36 years. Terry's also currently an active member of the Micah Center Wage Theft Group and in the process of setting up a Workers' Rights Center, helping to raise funds to help people of all walks of life who have been harmed in the workforce. The Teamsters were highly involved in forming the Grand Rapids Community Action Team, which is comprised of neighborhood groups, faith-based, union, and non-union people working together to inform the general public of what is going on in Lansing. Terry believes in helping those struggling and soliciting help from 9 unions to purchase food from Feeding America and distributing each month to communities most in need. They have a banner which reads, "Unions supporting communities, family, faith, and social justice." Please congratulate Terry Hugerhide as one of the Hispanic advocates. Our third Hispanic advocate goes to Gerald Kareem. Gerald first became involved with the union in the late 80s when he became a member of the Education Committee. Doesn't look like Gerald. No, it's not the right Gerald, but I'll do that one.
He's subbing.
I know. We have a sub here tonight, so don't be confused. He was then elected to SHOP Committee, representing nearly 1,500 members. Gerald's service continued, being selected in 1998 to participate in the distinguished UAW Fellowship Program, an appointment to the international staff as a serving rep in 2001, participated for several years at the U of M Labor Studies Institute, serving as facilitator, instructor, and conference coordinator. Jerry has a long history of being involved with family, church, and community. His most recent transition in life occurred in June 2010 when he was elected director at the 35th Constitutional Convention. Here to accept for Jerry is David Tanny. I understand Jerry is fairly ill tonight and couldn't be with us. So David, tell Jerry we send him a huge applause. All right. And now our Distinguished Aguila Award. It goes to a courageous Hispanic individual who lives an exemplary life and demonstrates extraordinary motivation to further the quality of life of the Hispanic community. This year's 2013 Distinguished Aguila Award goes to Pablo Martinez, Jr. Pablo was born to farm worker parents in San Juan, Texas. He can vividly recall picking cotton and other vegetables alongside his parents. They later migrated to Ohio and then Michigan, where he continued to do farm work into his teen years. Pablo joined the Marine Corps after high school during the Vietnam War. After the military, he got deeply involved with the United Farm Workers Union during the lettuce and grape boycotts. Pablo had the opportunity to meet César Chávez when he spent the night at his parents' home. Pablo joined the Detroit Fire Department in 1975 and retired after 30 years, 18 years as a fire investigator. He was a plaintiff in a class action lawsuit against the city of Grand Rapids, discriminatory practices, sorry, Mayor, used in recruiting, examining, and hiring of minority firefighters. As a result, many minority firefighters were hired. I'm sure this was before your term, Mayor. Okay. As a firefighter for Grand Rapids, Pablo was awarded the Firefighter of the Year. He volunteered as a recruiter, speaking with young people at schools, and has been reading to school kids for many years and continues to do so today. Active on various boards, Pablo spent most of his life helping people in one way or another, a clear example of the work and influence for social justice as modeled by César E. Chávez. Congratulations, Pablo Martinez. We now have a special presentation.
See, they forgot the lights. Turn the lights on. George.
The lights.
George.
He's going.
For the United States of America, I wish the UNS César Chávez. May God bless his ship and all his sail.
Right. You know, this is a testimony of the powerful work started by César E. Chávez and how we continue to celebrate his life and legacy. We just saw the launch of the USNS César Chávez ship on May 5th of this year. On October 8th of 2012, President Barack Obama established the César E. Chávez National Monument in Keene, California, and coming soon in a film called Chávez on the life of this American labor leader. So it's great to continue to see his life and legacy, and we celebrate it in things that we can all continue to celebrate. I'd now like to go back to our students, because that's what tonight is all about too. And we're going to be doing the presentation of the scholarships from Grand Rapids Community College. César Chávez once said, it's not about lettuce and grapes, it's about people. And tonight, it's not just about the beautiful music and delicious food, but it's all about the people. In particular, tonight, 6 outstanding young individuals who have overcome their own personal obstacles and who have gone on to distinguish themselves in their academic careers. Several have become the first in their families to attend college. As a group, they juggled family, work, school, and volunteer responsibilities. Each of them shares the character traits of perseverance, intellectual curiosity, willingness to work hard, strong motivation to succeed, and a beautiful generosity of spirit. In an exemplary way, honor the scholarship's namesake. It's a very great pleasure tonight to introduce you to the 6 outstanding recipients, of which each scholarship is worth $1,000. At this time, I'd like to introduce State Representative Brandon Dillon to present the first scholarship from AT&T. It's right here, too.
Thank you. As you can see, I'm not from AT&T, but Ruth Goddard, who would normally present this, is very ill tonight, so I'm happy to do this for Kayla Espino. Kayla's parents were born in Mexico. When he first came to the United States, her father worked on an apple farm. Kayla graduated from Union High School in Grand Rapids in 2011, and she is the first one in her family to attend college, where she is currently studying accounting at a great school, Grand Rapids Community College, and plans to transfer to Davenport or Ferris State University. She's a full-time student, works part-time, is active in her church, and with all that, her GPA is 3.99. And she's here today with her mom, Blanca Santoyo, and her sister, Ellie Espino.
Okay. Were you supposed to do 2 of them, Brandon? Oh, Winnie. There you go. Come on up. Again. Give him your full title for me, Winnie, so I don't mess it up. State Representative Winnie Brinks.
It's my great pleasure to be here this evening to stand in for Ruth Goddard, who, as Brandon Dillon mentioned, is ill this evening. I have the pleasure of presenting this award to Araceli Hurtado. Araceli and her family are from Michoacán, Mexico. When they first came to the United States 10 years ago, the whole family worked in the fields. She graduated from Lee High School this year. This is her first semester at Grand Rapids Community College. She is majoring in business and planning to transfer to Grand Valley or Davenport. Araceli attends school full-time and is involved in church and graduated from high school with a 3.88 GPA. She is here tonight with her mom, Rosa Hurtado, and her boyfriend, Bernardino Bautista. Felicidades.
Representative Brinks, you can roll those R's pretty well. Very good. Yeah, I like that. All right, here from the Grand Rapids Public Schools to present that scholarship, Teresita Cárdenas Long. Teresita? Do you have yours? Okay.
Buenas noches. I am pleased to represent Grand Rapids Public Schools in honoring tonight's scholarship recipients. First of all, we have Echo Lynn Jackson, who was born of Mexican and Puerto Rican heritage. Her mother and grandfather did factory and field work, graduated from Rogers High School in the year 2000. Echo is interested in business, plans to transfer to Ferris next fall. She is the very first one in her family to graduate from high school and go to college. Echo Lynn attends school full-time, works part-time, and volunteers with several organizations, and she has achieved a GPA of 3.893. Echo is here tonight with her mother, Edna Jackson, and her fiance, Anthony Matson. Our next recipient is Naomi Jimenez. Naomi's grandparents are from Mexico and worked in the fields. Naomi graduated from West Ottawa High School this year. She is majoring in dental hygiene, works 2 jobs, and still graduated from high school with 8 college credits and a 3.85 GPA. Naomi is here tonight with her mother, Grace Jimenez, and her aunt, Yolanda Crisuonos. Congratulations.
Gracias. Okay. And now from Fifth Third Bank to present is Luis Ramos.
¿Qué tal? Buenas noches. Yara is from Veracruz, Mexico. She graduated from high school in Mexico and got her GDE from GRCC's Learning Corner. She is interested in studying nursing. She is married, has 2 children, and works part-time. I think she's a great example to her children. Her GPA is 3.96.
And now from State Farm, I'd like to welcome Danielle Rowland.
Good evening. On behalf of State Farm, I'm pleased to introduce Joseph Ramos. Joseph's father is from Puerto Rico. He graduated from Rockford High School in 2012. His major is electronics technology, and he plans to transfer to Ferris. He works part-time, referees soccer, coaches softball, and is a lifeguard. His GPA is 3.844. He is here tonight with his father, Hector Ramos, and his grandfather, Ron Rule. Thank you.
We're going to be doing a drawing. We have, I think everybody's names. Lupe, where do we have the? They're bringing up the, I think, this a chance to win. Can you throw me the T-shirt? 0-0 bottom of the first. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, we'll keep track. We're doing really good here. They're going to be bringing up, we're going to be doing a drawing. Also for a donation of $10 on your way out in the lobby, they're going to be selling for a donation the T-shirt. So if you want one on your way out for a donation of $10, it'd be much appreciated. You can get a T-shirt. They'll be having it back there right now. They'll be bringing up for the drawing right now. Yes, of course we can. We can improvise. This is like live TV. Come on. Absolutely.
I wanted to just mention something in relationship to the ship that took place, the actual ceremony. Of course, Cesar's not around. His wife, Helen Chavez, was the one that broke the champagne bottle on the ship as it was being launched into the harbor there in San Diego. But I did want to just ask all of you to please remember her in your thoughts and your prayers. When I left yesterday, I went to go visit her in the hospital, and she is going through a rough time right now. So we'd appreciate your thoughts and prayers for her, and I know they'll make a difference. Thank you very much.
Okay. 2 winners? 1 winner. The winner gets 2 tickets for next year's events. 01 and 02, so the first 2. Hey, I'm not doing all the work here. Come on, Lupe, you pick it. Oh, they're coming out. There you go. Go ahead. And the winner is, you want to announce it? Go ahead.
Flora Garcia. Flora Garcia.
You want to just stay up here?
Yeah, stay right here. I'm gonna give you something.
You might as well finish it up.
No,
Yeah.
Congratulations. You're the first guest for next year. Okay. All right. Well, it's coming to a close, and you have been such a good audience. Give yourselves a big round of applause. we have to give a big round of applause to all those young people that serve your food. And again, I want to thank the 2013 Planning Committee and everybody that did anything to make this a success. I know Kate, who does the party planning for this building, did a wonderful job working with us. No, subtract that table, no, at the table, no, because people kept calling, no, and we got it all straight. And look at it. It's a full house, and I am so grateful. I'm so grateful to all of you for supporting our mission. All those people that are new, how many of you have come for the first time to our gala? Give us a big round of applause. All right, and we had one fantastic photographer, Oswaldo Garces, a fantastic driver, Pablo Martinez, and a fantastic special guest, Arturo Rodriguez. And to our mistress of ceremonies, Eva Aguirre Cooper, please come to the podium. We have Michelle. Do you have the gift?
That's all right. You can just say it's coming.
All right. All right. We have it. We have it. And we're giving Eva a gift of a special restaurant that she likes. What's your special restaurant, Eva? Yep, the Greenwell. And she's getting a gift certificate to go enjoy tomorrow or the next day. Again, thank you so much, and we'll see you again in March when we have our Social Justice March, our community gathering, and our luncheon. Please take note of the Looking Ahead 2014. Also, I want to see all the cards in the air that Arturo is. Let me see your cards. Tomas, are you ready to go around and pick them up? All right. We're going to pick them up. And again, thank you so very much. Bandits, you did a fantastic job. Let's hear it.